some good news, you guys. You get more of what you celebrate, what you focus on expands. If you want more good in your life, you got to put good out there. So let's hear it. Or unmute yourself if you want to. Drop something in the chat. Come on, David Imler. I have not seen you for so long. Drop something. You drop something in the chat or unmute yourself. I'd love to hear from you. Lisa, Carol, Megan, anybody, Nestor, Michelle, you guys, come on. Doubled Q1 business in May, amazing. Played golf all weekend and got a listing appointment on the golf course. I freaking love that. That's amazing. Anybody else? You guys want to weigh in at all? All right. Well, I'm just going to really believe that there is amazing things happening in your guys' world and that you're all too pumped up about them to get going. Great finish to Q2 incoming. Team is catching fire. Buyer and listing consultation today. Anna, love it. End of school for the kids, sent off to camp, record sales in May. Amazing, amazing. Listing at a new property tonight. Got a referral this weekend. Awesome, you guys. Love, love, love it. You guys, today is going to be so good. I am really, really excited for our speaker today, Neil Dhingra. He is a marketing expert who has exploded his mortgage business by creating content that is getting him insane results on social media. He's also the founder of Forward Academy, where he's helping thousands of agents and mortgage brokers learn how they can do exactly the same as he did and follow in his footsteps. He's also the host of the Forward event that happens every year in Las Vegas, where leaders from both industries, the mortgage world and the real estate world, are coming together from all over North America to learn about all the latest trends in marketing. And I'm so excited to say that I'm going to be one of those people this summer at the Forward event in July. I already signed up about 2 months ago. I cannot wait, or a month and a half ago. Neil's, you guys, he's just been incredibly instrumental in inspiring my own personal brand journey. And I'm really, really pumped for you to hear from him today. So without further ado, Neil.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate you guys. And I just love like what you're doing, Amy, in terms of leading by example, and then also just doing things like this. Because a lot of times people, say all the right things, but not doing them. And, it's important for us to get together first thing on a Monday, or for me, it's Monday morning. For you guys, I don't know where you're at throughout the country, but it's awesome to just collaborate here and get into this. And so I know we have a short time today, so I'm going to just jump right in if that's okay with everybody here. And then we're going to do some Q&A as well. And then also have something really cool at the end I'd love to share with you guys as well. So this will be fun. How much time do we have, Amy?
We have about 45, 50 minutes.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So guys, you know what? I think, actually, I'm just going to show you this. This is really cool. This is something that we've been using. I'm going to get into some content stuff, but honestly, this concept that I'm about to talk about today, it's not only changed my business, like Amy talked about, but it's also changed my whole life. It's brought me opportunities that I never thought were possible. It's opened so many doors for me. And so for many of you, depending on where you're at, I know some people are more further along in terms of building their brand and using social for that. And some people are like, well, I haven't really done much there. I've been just really focused on my sphere and my local market. So it doesn't matter where you're at on this journey. I'm just telling you right now that there are opportunities coming for you that you don't even realize are possible. Like somebody, I talk to so many different groups throughout the year, and there's a small percentage of people who take what I say and actually do it. These people will come back to me and tell me the opportunities that they get over time. And I have a group as well, the people that come to our events and all this. And it's like, hey, yeah, I ended up, it's cool when you get the next transaction. Like I got this client because he saw my stuff, or somebody referred me somebody because they've been watching my stuff. Those are always awesome. Like those never get old. But the cool ones are like oh, you know what? I got this whole development because of this, because of my brand. Or, I connected with this person who connected me with this person, and we're going to be doing deals for this entire group. Or, ended up recruiting this entire office, or, this entire brokerage over to Real, or to whoever, you guys are at. And on this call, is it everybody's with the Real, Amy?
No, this is brand agnostic training.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. So like,
we have from I know so many agents that are on here and they're from all different brands of brokerages. It's really cool.
Awesome. Yeah. And it's not just specific to real. It's like EXP or any of these models, right? It's just, it doesn't matter, but the opportunity is big. And so I just think really quick, it'd be important for everyone to understand one thing, like you have symmetric opportunity and asymmetric opportunity. And so symmetric is like when you put in this investment and then you get this return. So it's like almost like the two, if they're on a plane, are just, if you imagine two parallel lines are just going in tandem. There's one investment from you in terms of time, money, resources, whatever you put in. Like you buy these leads, you get this return. You make these number of calls. On average, you're going to get this amount of clientele from those efforts. And this is how we run our business every day. It's important that we always do this. But what I've found is if you don't have something in addition to that, which is asymmetric, you're always going to be stuck on the hamster wheel. And so asymmetric opportunities like this, personal brand, there's no ceiling on this. Networking, you might connect with somebody that could completely change the course of your business and give you an opportunity that you didn't think was possible, like a media opportunity or one of these big deals I'm talking about, right? Or and then it seems to happen more and more and more. And so I was just wondering, why does this stuff happen to certain people and not to others? Is it just luck? Well, no, they're increasing the surface area of their chance to get lucky. So if you imagine, like we're holding a freaking net, like a little fishing net, and there's, just for the sake of this illustration, there's 4-leaf clovers. These are your lucky events in business, right? Some of you guys are, running around with this little net and it's like this, it's like, dang, I'm going to get, it's going to be very difficult for me to catch one of these things, but I'm going to catch one and it's going to be cool. I'm rolling around with the freaking net like this, it's like just rolling. And so there's so much opportunity, so many chances to get lucky, right? And so this is what you have to think about. We need to increase the surface area of luck. So that way cool things can happen. Like luck doesn't happen when we're sitting on the couch thinking about what we're going to be doing. It doesn't happen when we're not doing these things, right? It happens when you're doing these things and putting yourself out there. So just think about this asymmetric opportunity. If you don't, I believe most people in our industry do not have this part in their business. They just have the regular part. And then what happened for me is I spent 15 years doing this stuff and really just felt stuck at the same level. Like I was making decent money, but I could never break through the ceiling and it could never get to true wealth for myself and my family. So once I started doing some asymmetric stuff, then it really took off. And so I'm going to share with you guys a few strategies today. And then we'll get into some Q&A. I have so much stuff to share. So I'm going to cut down some of it because my thing is I could teach this stuff for the next 3 hours and we would still just be in the beginning part, but I'm gonna just get into the most important stuff to condense it down for you. So I'm going to share with you this. Check out this video, guys.
I am so excited to be here with my human counterpart, Neil. As the AI version of Neil, I can tell you that you are all in for a real treat today. The information covered will not only change the way in which you communicate and get business, but for some of you, it could even change your life. So anyways, it looks like my few seconds of fame is up. I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to the more handsome real life version of myself. Neil, I hope I said that right.
So this video is 100% generated by AI, right? I'm not in it at all. Okay. And this is another version. Check this one out.
Seré honesto contigo. Obtener un préstamo hipotecario puede ser complicado, pero con las personas y el proceso adecuado será más fácil.
So I don't speak any language, right? Fluently other than English, but according to my new software, now I can speak 41 languages fluently. Like this is crazy. And I want you guys to write this down because there's actually a really cool use case for this in your business strategy. And we'll get into that in a moment here, but it's called HeyGen, HEYGEN. You can use this software. You turn in about 3 minutes of footage of yourself and it will generate your avatar. And then now you can just type in what you want to say. So sometimes, you may not be camera ready or you may be out and about and you want to send a quick client video. Your team can do this for you now. They just type in what you wanted to say and the video generates in seconds. Like I just wrote this at the bottom. If you can see my screen here, I wrote what I wanted to say and then it generated that video in just a few minutes. And so what are the use cases for this? Well, you can send client videos out. So we send, when leads come in, we send them a quick video like, hey, Amy, great to connect with you. Just to let you know, we'll be doing XYZ, or here's the next step, whatever that is. Like sometimes milestones or initial leads, these can go out automatically. So you don't even have to film them. you know, and we all know conversion goes up when you send a quick video to the lead, right? This is just, we have
Mhm.
this documented, right? So you can also use it to create some of your content. I wouldn't use it to create all of my content, you know, just some of it, because obviously building a personal brand is about you and your connection to the audience. And then that translate feature, you know, and depending on what part of the country you're in, you can start a new channel and run ads in a different language, right? And so we all know the opportunity with the Hispanic audience. We have people in our group who are running certain videos specific to Hispanic audience and getting way more leads coming in. Now, I'll tell you this, if you're going to do that, make sure somebody on your team speaks Spanish, because the leads will come in and you won't be able, like, you know, the AI can't handle the whole conversation. So just keep that in mind. And so when you think about a lot of these new tools that I go over today, like, you might think, well, you know, I get these questions all the time. Will will realtors be replaced by AI and tech? The answer is absolutely not. Like, we know the value we provide. I just talked to a guy yesterday who creates so much, he for most of his pipeline, he creates inventory in his market. Like, he can never be replaced because of the inventory shortage that's in our market. He's actually knocking doors, making calls every single day. And so you have to think about this. You'll never be replaced, but you will be replaced by someone who knows how to use this stuff. And so you don't have to be an expert at everything I talk about today, but you should know enough to be dangerous. Like, you know, just a little bit and execute on this stuff. Does that make sense for everyone here?
Mhm.
How many of you in the chat, if you could let me know, are creating content right now versus, you know, maybe you're thinking about, you wish you would, you wish you could be doing it more, or are you already doing content at this point? Let me know where you're at in the chat. That'd be awesome. And Brad, what's going on, bro? Good to see you. I know Brad creates a lot of cool content. It's almost like Brad stuff is intimidating because it's such a hype. It's so good. You know what I mean? And that's like, a lot of us feel like you have to be doing that when you that's just his style. It's awesome. You don't have to be doing that. So okay, most of the people here are talking about being consistent. Okay, so that's awesome. So I'm going to give you guys some stuff that you can use for this. But I have a question right now. You know, what is the percentage of business that's coming from referrals currently? Like, what percentage, if you could just let me know, is it in terms of how much of your business comes from referrals? What, drop it into the chat. 95%, 90%. Dave says, Brad says 30 to 45%. Awesome. 97, 90, 80. Okay. So what I found for most of our industry is people are in the 80+% from referrals. Brad's an outlier in this because he has a lot of media presence. So in terms of referrals, the cool thing about referrals is it's a connection. Those typically convert better. We're just way better working with these clients. The problem is a dark side to referrals. What happens to referrals when the market slows down? You know, they seem to dry up, right? And so what everyone's heard this term sphere of influence, like, you know, your circle of people who know, like, and trust you, whatever. I'm just thinking that's great. I want that, but I want more of that. So what we need to think about here is how we can expand the sphere. And I know this business is all about peaks and valleys. It's always up and down, depending on which market you're in and all the interest rates and all these cycles. But when things are better, why is it that somebody on this Zoom call who's 4 boxes over from the other gal, that person's going to make 4 times the money, or sometimes 10 times the money than the other person? What is that? We all have the same information. We have the same abilities. We have access to the same stuff. We're probably similar intelligence, maybe. Why is that somebody makes so much money? Well, it's because of this concept of, like, I always think about this quote, you know, a lot of people are just waiting for things to get better, or they're waiting for luck to happen, but they're a single flower waiting for the sun rather than being a meadow ready for the spring. So I think about increasing that size of my sphere, so that way you can get so many more warm referrals. And so that's my strategy. I love, you know, generating cold business online, and we have funnels and do all that kind of stuff. But I know that's more techie. Just think about this concept of, like, the people that know, like, and trust you. What if that circle was 10 times bigger than it is now? What would that do to your business, right? And so I just want you guys to flip this question around of, like, who do you know that could send you a deal? Who do you know that wants to buy or sell real estate? Let's cancel that shit and just say, who knows you? Like, who knows the great service you provide? Who knows that, you know, you take care of your clients and you get them the best results and all these kinds of things. If not enough people know that, then that's all we're trying to cure, right? And so one thing I'll tell you is, every time I speak to a group, sometimes I speak to like 1,000 people, 500 people, it doesn't matter, or this in group is 100 people. Everyone will, there's a few people on the call, I should say, that will think, well, Neil, what if everybody does this? If we all do it on the call, or we all do it in this market, it's going to become saturated. Is it saturated? And I'm just going to tell you a secret in this industry. Nobody does shit. You know what I mean? Like, don't ever worry about, hey, everyone's going to execute. Nobody does what the, in terms of, I'm not trying to be rude or whatever, but I'm just telling you that most people won't do the work. And so if you think about the club of people who are consistent and posting and connecting with the audience every week, 52 weeks a year, it's a very small group of people. It's very lonely in that group. If you come into that group, it will change your whole business. And so you don't have to worry like, oh, it's saturated. It's not saturated at the top if you know how to do this. I was just watching a video yesterday on social. It popped up on my Instagram. You know how just, something shows up and it kind of connects with you. It was Billy Joel. You guys remember Billy Joel? One of the world's most famous musicians for many, many decades. And this guy was interviewing him. They said, hey, Billy, how have you stayed so relevant at the top and selling out stadiums, 30, 40 years into your career across all these decades and all these changes in music? And he said, competence. And the dude's like, what do you mean competence? He's like, bro, in a world of incompetence, competence comes off as extraordinary, right? Like you don't have to do much to smoke the competition in this. And so just think about that as we get going. A lot of you already know me, connect me with social. I got so many DMs, Amy, over the weekend. Someone's like, man, we're so excited for this week's call. And I was pumped to hear that. But some of you may not know who I am. My content has been seen. I have 10 million plus impressions in the last 12 months, mostly on Instagram. I do some on YouTube as well. I'm in the industry just like you guys, make millions of dollars every year. Not trying to flex, maybe just a little bit, but just trying to tell you, hey, this stuff works. What I'm teaching works. And then we also have Forward Academy where we teach 1,000+ agents and lenders how to do digital marketing better and connect with the audience. We also have our events and things like that. One thing I would just tell you, this is a side note, this is my greatest accomplishment is being a father and a husband. And I think about this, a lot of us don't talk about our families enough, and I'll get into this in a moment. But if you don't have things right at home, I would leave this call right now and go fix that first, because you're not going to be able to execute anything in business if your family life isn't dialed in. And so for me, I went through a period where I wasn't showing up as much because I got so obsessed with the work and doing things. And honestly, it was holding me back. So I'll just tell you, man, like I don't know if anybody else relates to this, and you can let me know. I know this is a tangent, sorry, but I just think
Probably the
it's
most
so
powerful
important.
thing you could say today.
Yeah, I just think like you really need to make sure your relationship at home is dialed in, because when that is dialed in, you will become a beast in business. And I don't know if anybody relates. If something's off, I'm like handicapped in business and making calls and doing things like this. So I know Kelly says she relates. A lot of you guys relate to this. So think about this in terms of fixing your relationships first and foremost. That's the most important thing. So let me just get into the system because we have limited time today, and then we'll talk more about some of the ideas and questions. So content, connection, conversion, 3 C's, right? So we're going to produce more content that connects with the audience. Then we're going to connect with them. And then we're going to do conversion. I've noticed people skip one of the steps. So like some people aren't doing any content. So that would be a problem. You're not going to build your brand on social if you don't have content. But I notice many, many people more often do some content. They kind of check the box. They don't do it as good as they could, but they're doing it, but they don't ever connect with the audience. And so you're building a personal brand. You want people to connect with you. And then the last step is conversion. Do you know how many people tell me like, hey, I don't really get much from my social? And I said, well, have you asked? And then let me see your call to action. And they're like, oh, I haven't really done that. Oh, so you were just hoping that people would just reach out. Well, yeah, that happens, but it doesn't happen often enough. So you need to ask and you shall receive, but you have to do it in the right way, which I'm going to get into. And so I posted, this was a screenshot from months ago, but I think I posted over 1,200 videos on my current Instagram, which is my second Instagram account because the first one got shut down. And I have a little bit of scale now, so I can tell you guys who are the viewers of the videos in our niche. So in over a 90-day period, I could reach 6.5 million people. It's going to be millennials, okay, 25 to 44. I'm the oldest millennial probably on this call, born 1981, so I just made the cut. But millennials, largest generation in the history of this country, probably in Canada, the same thing, and biggest group of buyers, right? Now, if you're looking at the videos, they will reach, the most people they'll reach is strangers. So people who are new for the first time watching your video. So just think about this. The light blue are people who follow me, dark blue, non-followers. So even if you're on this call and you have 183 followers, it doesn't matter. Strangers will watch your content. They will introduce your video to strangers for free. You don't have to pay anything. Now, we can get into ads later, but if your organic videos aren't connecting, then the ads aren't going to work either. So a lot of people think like, I could just promote this post. There's no sense in promoting a post that didn't get much traction organically. You want to promote things that are actually working, that people connected with and got engagement. And then you could put gas on a fire at that point. But this is me without any ads at all, just running organic. And I'll tell you, most of the people that continue to watch my content, even with enough followers I have today, it's all strangers for the most part. So let me just tell you guys what type of content is working the best for me right now. You need to change the location in which you shoot the videos. You'll notice that a lot of times we shoot videos out and about, in front of a listing, sometimes in the office at a studio. I used to shoot them all at the same spot, but now we change it up. The green screen videos are crushing right now. If you could just show an article behind you, you're leveraging the content from that publication. They probably spent 13 revisions on that headline, and that headline appears behind you. And then the other part is just being authentic. That's really important. I noticed also if you can cut to whiteboard, we have people in our groups every time. If you're filming a video and you can cut to a notepad or whiteboard to show people real numbers on a deal, those videos get a lot more reach than you just talking, because people want to know like what's coming next. We do some text only posts with B-roll music, and then anytime you could get specific versus general. So instead of saying, the generic video, which was a few years ago that could have worked, it's kind of dead today. Here are 3 tips to do this. That's a cool video. It's better than nothing, but it would be better if you're like, here's how I saved my client $46,000 on this deal, or here, this one mistake cost me $112,000. And I hope you never make this, but here's what and then you get into it. A specific example, a specific number. Just remember, specificity sells. Like, people believe it's real. When it's just generic, it's dead right now. I'm telling you, if you guys pop on social with video, you'll notice your engagement is really low when it's just a generic story or a generic lesson. And so I would encourage you to get as specific as possible. But the problem is, we all try and be this guy. You can't put too much into one single video. So narrow your focus. Like, less is going to be more. And don't talk about the process, talk about the benefits. So I've noticed a lot of people are still starting off their videos talking about the process, when you should be starting with the benefit, which would be mistake avoidance, how to save time, how to save money. All these things are in your lane. And these are things that people are going to watch. Okay. So I have a bunch of examples, which I don't have time to get into today, all of these. But I will tell you this, like, this video is working the best is if you on social. And now I'm not talking about YouTube. YouTube, different animal. You could talk for 15 minutes. That's great. But on social, a lot of times people really want a quick solution to a desired outcome. Everybody wants like the easy button. Now, I know it's not easy to do this process long-term, but in the beginning, what's a quick solution you could provide today? These videos seem to do the best because people really want to know like what they could do right now. And so I have a topic in mortgage that I was talking about that was kind of boring, debt to income ratio. And I was like, how could I make this a quick solution to a desired problem, which is how you could qualify for more of a house. So here's how I made these videos is, I'll go to a notepad, talk about how to get a lower payment when buying a house. These are kind of things like you guys could be showing numbers on a deal. Let me just
I don't
show
think
you an
you're ready
example.
for this one, but I'm telling you the math is real. I'm going to actually show you the numbers on this. So let's say you find a property for $400,000 and you want to offer $10,000 less, so you're going to get it for $390. By doing that, you're going to save approximately $60 a month, which isn't bad. But check this out. If you were to keep the price at $400,000 and use that $10,000 towards a 2-1 buy down, you would save in year 1 $476 a month, and in year 2 $244 a month. Now this is huge, which makes this the much better choice. And it gets you through the first 2 years of owning that property with a much lower monthly payment. And here's the thing, for the seller, it works out the exact same. They net the same amount of money, so they don't even care.
So this is just an example. I have probably 100 more I could show you, but when you cut to a notepad, you're going to get more views. But then the other part is just really simplifying things. So think about in your business right now, what's a deal that you could break down numbers wise, And I know it's not every deal. I know some deals, the numbers didn't make sense and they just wanted the house and, it was an emotional thing. That's great. But like, where were you able to save people money? Where were you able to save people time? If you could illustrate any of this, even if you could show the property on your screen, it just doesn't need to be you the whole time is what I'm saying. If you can cut to something else, more people will stick around to watch the videos and you can generate leads. The other thing I noticed is bold statements work really well right now. So let me give you an example of a bold statement in a video. If I was buying my first house right now, I would never put 20% down on that property. And to be honest, I probably want to put the least amount of money down on any property that I buy, because the more money you put down, the more money you have at risk. So if something goes wrong with the economy, something goes wrong in your... So in this case, I'm talking about never put 20% down on my first house. Now, I could say there's certain examples where you would want to do that. I did that in the caption beneath the video, but in the actual video, I need to be very clear. You should never do this if you're buying a house today. Here's one question you can't avoid. Here's one question you must ask when you're buying a property in today's market. And it's like, it's very clear. Just remember this, guys and gals. Remember, humans love clarity and confidence. They hate confusion. So when you're talking about things and it's like, well, sometimes you should do this and sometimes, then they just view this as confusion and move on. When you're super clear, people love it. Like, they're like, okay, I can get behind this. Now, are there exceptions to every rule? Are there nuance? Yes, you can address that in the caption or in another video, but take a clear stance on one video and you'll notice more people watch it. The other thing that's working really well in talking videos is using negative. So I'll show you an example of one where we got a lot of engagement, a lot of leads from this video because we had a CTA in the caption beneath it.
Like, the average American doesn't even realize this, but the middle class is currently being priced out of owning a home. Like, I'll give you an example of what's happening right now. This company, Invitation Homes, they recently bought over 250 homes in Las Vegas. Now, this is just one company, but they bought over 2,300 homes across the country during 2023, spent nearly $1 billion buying rental real estate in just 1 year. Like, how can one company just buy so many homes and just raise the rents? Well, it's a good question, because I also read this article that says 6 years from now, it's estimated that US corporate investors are going to own 40% of all the homes in this country. And I feel like they're trying to turn us into a nation of renters. Like in other countries, property ownership is not for everybody. The average person doesn't think that they could just go buy a home like they do here in the US. It's only for the privileged, the rich. And it feels like we're going that way in this country now too. What do you guys think?
So this video generates a lot of conversation, and I give a solution in the caption beneath it, and then we did a CTA. But I'll tell you this: these videos, and you might think, well, these are fancy edits. I'll connect you with an editor for $30. They can edit and add all these captions and graphics. It's not necessary. It's just the icing on the cake. The message is the most important thing. The first video I showed you was shot with my phone. This one was shot with a nicer camera in my home. But either way, they both perform well. I think the first one actually got more views because it was, I don't know why, it's just different message. But the actual device doesn't matter. If you just have the phone and you wipe the lens first, please, you'll be able to be seen clearly. And you need a mic for sure, and you need good light. So that light could be natural, or it could be a softbox for $200 that you get in your home or studio office, and then you'll be lit perfectly. If you ever don't like the way you look on camera, by the way, guys, it's not you. Well, for some of you guys, it might be you. I'm just kidding. But for most people, it's the light. It's not you. Like right now, I'm just on a standard webcam on my laptop on this MacBook, but it looks better because I have a light on my face. So I'm just telling you, it will wipe like 10 years off your face if you just get a proper light. It's not that much investment. I can give you the links as well to any equipment that we use. So these videos do really well, and it'll tell you when you use it. Like this one, for example, it just told me, I just posted this, and it's like, this reached almost 3,000% more accounts than the average of my recent reels. Well, why? Because I was using a negative opening statement. So think about, is there some negative news going on in your market, and then flip it to a positive? The news will stay negative. You can be the light, and you can bring it back to the positive, but I'm just telling you guys to start with something negative, and you'll see it reach more people. Green screen features work really well. I don't have to get into this at all, but a bunch of these, but basically you're just going to make sure that people can see the headline. So move your mug below this. I see so many people post green screen videos. Your head is covering the actual headline. That's the most important part of the green screen videos, is point to that headline, and don't say too much in the beginning. So I will say something like this right here, guys, or holy shit, this, check this out. Don't say too much, because you want to give them a chance to read the headline and then get into your opinion. These videos, you don't even have to script them or think about them too much. You're just using the headline, and then you could talk about it. Okay.
This right here is...
So I'll say this, man, this is breaking news, and here's why. But then they have a chance to see it. Okay. I'll really quick get into these text videos. I was sitting on my back porch the other day, and I was like, I don't want to film a video today. I just want to make a simple point, explain it more in the caption, and add some good music to it. Right. So this is the backyard of my house in Vegas. And I was like, man, I was sitting with my wife. I'm like, man, we have our dream home now. Took us 20 years, but we finally got our dream home. Well, how'd we get it? We started with this house, then we took that equity and we put it into the next house, and we put it into the next house. So I was like, I want to explain that concept to people on social. And so how many of you have, had this happen to yourself or your clients, right? They started with one property, they leveraged it over and over, and they just kept rolling up the equity. So here's how I made this video.
Stay strong, carry on, what you want isn't far away.
I was just thinking, like, how could I describe our first condo? And it was a shitbox. Like, it was like a 600 square foot condo for like 50K. But that was the first property. And then we leveraged that to get on to the next one and next one. And so this video takes like, I don't know, a couple minutes to make. You just add text over B-roll. I would encourage all of you guys to keep a video vault on your cell phone, on your iPhone. It might work on the Android too. I'm not sure if you still have that, but on your iPhone, you can just save these videos in the video vault. And then anytime you see something look cool, like a nice view, sunset, property, beautiful kitchen, beautiful backyard, grab a nice smooth shot of it on your phone and keep it. You can use this as the background of these types of videos. Okay. We do this all the time and it takes just seconds to make. By the way, is this helping you guys? These ideas? Is anybody getting any ideas for content here? Let me know in the chat if you guys want more ideas like this. But basically, I have a bunch more, and these all work really well. And sometimes the videos with just the B-roll will outperform the videos of me. And I'm like, man, maybe they don't want to see my mug today. Maybe we can just show something else and just talk about it, right? And so the key is that the content feed is, for me as a personal brand. And Brad, you got to do green screen, man. You're a video guy. You would love these green screen videos, and they're just done quickly on the phone. All you have to do is put the article behind you and just talk about it. These will crush. I guarantee you, if it's an article that got some traction, because the ones in Apple News they present to you have the most traction. You could do it in Google News as well, but those articles and your opinion on them is really important. So the key is with your feed, you have some green screen, you have some shot in front of a house, you have some shot behind in your office, your studio, outside, maybe then you have a green screen. So you're mixing it up and it interrupts the pattern. And this really builds a strong personal brand. Now, it's not necessarily the fastest way to get to X number of followers, but I've found that this is way better for generating business. Like last time I checked, I went to B of A, you can't deposit your likes and followers. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to generate more conversations with clients. And so this is the key to doing all of this. I have a bunch of hooks, guys, that I could give you. We actually just made a bunch more. And I don't have time to get into all these right now, but if you want to grab these, just scan this QR code and I'll just email them to you. You can just scan this or go to neilshooks.com and you'll be on our email list and we'll send you a bunch of hooks that we use. For the text-only videos, Miles asked in the chat, it's just in Instagram, bro. You literally just put the video up and you type the text over it. There's no special app. There's no cost. It's free. You literally just type text over the screen, add a song that you want that fits the vibe, and hit post. It can take you literally minutes to do it. All right, so I've got a bunch of ideas for content stuff, but I want to get into, because we only have about 10 minutes here, just a connection piece. I have a bunch of topics, and I'll email you guys these if you join the list. I'll send you a bunch. I have a bunch of stuff, how we use ChatGPT as well. But this is really important. If you don't connect with the audience, you're not going to get any business. You're not going to get enough business because it's all about like you. It's not about the product you sell in terms of relationship building and more referrals. Like you can highlight the product as far as the house goes, but in terms of why they should work with you, they can work with anybody, right? So I feel like we don't sell homes. We don't sell loans if you're in mortgage. We sell trust. More people trust you, more people work with you. And so I used to just share personal things and stories, but I started doing more in the feed as well lately. And I want to give you an example of, this. One thing you should talk about is why do you do what you do for a living? Like share, why are you in this industry? For me, it's a grind. Sometimes I don't like all the things, but the thing that never gets old is getting that text from a client saying, thank you so much for what you did for us. We got the keys, blah, blah, that to me never gets old. And so even me just saying this on social in the feed, guys, not just in stories, because in the feed, you're going to reach a lot more people than just your stories, which is a very small segment of your followers. Me saying this would automatically connect me with so many more people, right? And so it can't just be this curated only information videos. It's got to be something more than that. And also have an opinion, like, what's your guys' opinion on the market? Where do you think things are going? If you have a strong opinion, share it. I'll give you a secret. If you share an opinion and then some crazy shit happens 6 months from now with the economy or politics or election, or there's a, God forbid, another pandemic and some crazy thing goes on and you were just dead wrong about what you said, I'll tell you what you do is you open up the Instagram app, you find that video where you made the prediction, and you just delete the video. Like you don't have to, it's not that big of a deal if you make predict. I see so many people scared to share their opinion. If you've been in the industry for 20 years and you don't have an opinion on what's happening right now in the market, what are we doing here? We're the experts and we're scared because we might be wrong or we might, so share your opinion, please. And then you can always update it based on the data. So, joking aside, I'll tell people, hey, this is based on today's data. I will update you as things change. Now, from a personal level, here's the 4 things I share. It's food, faith, family, fitness, the 4 F's. The women in the group asked they told me I need to add fashion. So it's 5 F's now: food, faith, family, fitness, fashion. Okay. These are the things I include. Now, if you're into something else, include that. Some dude on the last call told me he's a degenerate gambler. I'd probably leave that one out. But for the most part, anything that you're into interest-wise, if you just simply share it in the content, you will reach more people because people share those interests. So there's a dude in our group. He hikes every day. He shares a tip while he's hiking, automatically connects more people because other people share that. If you are a extreme fan of a certain team in sports, hockey, basketball, whatever, if you would simply wear that hat or jersey in some of your videos, automatically more people connect with you and refer you. It's crazy. Like people give you more attention because they share your interests. So this is not a joke. I'm telling you right now, this will lead to more opportunity. And the goal of this is everybody on this call is so much more than what we do for a living, right? It's not just about, if it's just about the numbers and deals, what are we doing? Like they could work with anybody. They could just go to an online portal and get that shit. What about you? Like, why should I work with you? And so I hope this helps connect somebody, with more of that. And then, on quality, I think I have a bunch of things on quality, but the main thing is just being pleased to see you. I don't want people's videos to pop up and you can't hear them or you can't see them and they just scroll past you. So the goal is just do a few things to get people to see your videos. I have a bunch on this stuff, but I'm not going to get into it right now. I can send this to you guys on the email. I have also these AI videos that we're generating with voices, like this dude, Adam. Have you guys ever heard this voice?
A bottle of water can be 50 cents at a supermarket. A bottle of water can be 50 cents at a supermarket. $2 at the gym, $3 at the movies, and $6 on a plane. Same water. The only thing that changed its value was the location. So, the next time you feel your worth is nothing, maybe you're at the wrong place.
So that video is generated by this voice called Adam through 11 Labs. And it's a really cool voice. Everybody can get this for free. You just go to 11 Labs and you can generate. There's other ones, but this one's always trending.
When you use my voice, it adds a certain mystique to your videos. Like right now, I'm guessing most of you are paying attention to what I am saying. More than would have paid attention if Neil just told you about how cool I am. No offense, Neil. Anyways, give it a shot and I bet you get some great results.
So anyways, like you guys can add this over B-roll. Hey, check out this, what's going on in this market, or you guys have to check out my new listing at blah, 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 blah. Like try it with this guy's voice instead of your own and you'll generate 4 times the views. I don't know why, but it just works. Okay. And so I don't know if we have time for this, Amy, because I know we're out of time. I have some stuff on conversion or we could get into Q&A. What do you think?
How can you do a conversion piece in like 5 to 7 minutes?
Yeah.
Let's
And then
go.
if anybody, okay,
Yeah.
let's go through it. And then I'll tell you guys about something really cool at the end. So and by the way, if anybody wants more information on stuff, because I don't have time to get into all of it because we have a shorter time today. I have a whole like masterclass we do on this. We could do a different call in the future and I can go deeper on these things and really dial in for, in terms of your strategy. But for content conversion, a lot of people are just waiting for the inbound leads. I've found that there are way, way, way more people who are just hiding in the shadows. They watch your videos, but they don't even comment on them. They don't like them. They're stingy. Like it's an age of low engagement. People just scroll really fast and they're really, just moving on to the next thing. And so to target those people, we use funnels, but the main thing is like getting their attention and then getting leads and then moving forward. So how do you get more of these people into your funnel? We have this whole funnel and I could break it down later, but the main thing I want to show you is the CTA. So you think about this, the clients here, closed deal is on the left side. Most of us in this industry are like, hey, let me know when you're ready to go. That's a very small segment. It's the bottom of the funnel. You'd be shocked how many people are 2 questions away from working with you, but we never provide them with those questions or we never talk to them. They're in the middle or they need one step in the middle and then they would move on. So this is called middle of the funnel or top of the funnel, right? Most of us don't have that because we're so focused on the bottom, which is how we get paid, which is important. But we need a passive way to do this in the middle. So the middle step could be a webinar, a video that you post on social, an event, a guide that you provide, right? A checklist, a quick checklist. That's a great tool. People like quick things, easy things. And so how we do this is we make a CTA and a video, but the CTA needs to be easy. If it's hard, people won't do it. So you have to make it very simple to start with you. Right now, if I went to anybody's social on here, how easy is it to get some free resource from you to get started? Or is the only way to book an appointment? That's like, walking up to someone and just going to the whole final step in the first encounter. We need to actually have a step in the middle, like what's some conversation, coffee, right? Cocktail, something in the middle before you go on to the next step. And so you have to think about this. Give them something on demand. So if it's 1 a.m. in their pajamas or it's on the weekend and they don't have to talk to you to get it, is the main point. People are weird. They don't want to talk to you, but then all of a sudden they want all your time when they're ready to go. And so I found this changed the game is don't sell work in the beginning. So I know they need to sit down with us and do all this stuff, but in the beginning, what's a quick resource you could give them? We have all these things we do online, which I can get into. But let me just show you the call to action. This video, in just one video with the CTA at the end, generated, I believe, 400 some odd leads for us.
You're a millennial and you want to buy a home in 2024, but you're freaking pissed that you missed the opportunity when home prices were lower and rates were lower years ago. And it's like, shit, I'm right there with you, man. I wish I would have done a lot of things years ago. But the crazy thing is, like, if you look back 5 years ago, the people who wanted to buy a house, they were pissed because they're like, man, I wish I would have bought a home 5 years before that, and so on and so forth. So like looking backwards is kind of pointless with real estate. You're not going that way. And it's about what's ahead. Like, why do you want to own a piece of real estate in this market for the long term? What are the benefits to owning? And so once you get your head wrapped around that, that's when you can really take action and move forward. And if you want to do that this year, there's actually a guide that I can give you to help you with this process. I put together a quick guide. If you want to grab it, comment the word home below and it'll give you the tips that you need to know to find and structure a good deal in 2024.
All right, so this video generated like 500 comments. Some of the comments were just people saying, hey, great video, but most of the comments are people commenting the word home. We have automation that sends them the guide afterwards and then automatically emails them 7 times afterwards so that we can book the appointment. I'm not talking to these people. They're just commenting. Now, in the beginning, you don't have to set up this whole automation funnel. You could just simply reply back to the people because it's going to be like 3 or 4 in the beginning. But eventually, you can generate so many leads automatically through a call to action. Now, we're just sending them a guide. It's just crazy. A lot of realtors, there was probably, I would say 100 of those leads were other realtors or lenders just, asking, wanting to just check out the guide. They're not consumers, but the rest of them were actually consumers who want the guide because it's so simple. So I just think about this. These people would have never reached out to me had I not given them a guide. Like they were just watching the videos and they just never would have done anything. They wouldn't have commented. They wouldn't have sent me a DM saying, hey, I'd like to start the process. But when I offered something simple to get started, they did. They took advantage of it. And then we just follow up automatically through, this is the ManyChat we use to respond automatically. This is crazy, guys. If anybody here is a nerd like me and you look at like email marketing and open rates and things like this, for DM messages on a good CTA, it was 100% of the people opened the DM that got it. Of the people that opened it, 84% of those people click. A click-through rate of 84% is insane. Like on email, we're looking like 5% click-through and we'd be like ecstatic. 85% of these people click on the resource. It's insane. Like that's crazy. And so just think about this. And by the way, again, that video is probably my lowest performing video out of 10 videos. And the bottom 2 are the lowest performing. And it generated me the most leads. So, just when you make a CTA, you have to make it easy. This basically is just your guide. Assume that they don't know what we do, how it works. They're in a rush and they dropped out of school in the 7th grade. So you kind of dumbing it down, but you can still sound intelligent, but you just need to make it simple. And then they will move on to the next step. So just remember, simple scales, fancy fails. If there's a lot of complexity to the process of you creating videos and doing things, you're not going to do it. If there's a lot of complexity to get started working with you, they're not going to do it at scale. And so even if, you're not ready to quite do all the videos and set up all this stuff, even if you left this call and you just said, hey, it's kind of difficult for people to book something with me or get started with me, I'm going to change the link in my bio. That would be the first step. I don't know if my bio explains what I can clearly do for people. I'm going to fix that up first. There's just simple things that you can do. And just remember, tell people what you're offering and specifically what to do to get it. There was a guy on the lending finance side. He said, comment the word pre-approved below and I'll send you this. Nobody typed it. Why? It's too hard to freaking type that many words. Like the word is home because more people type home. It's easy. Just think about this. People aren't in the most optimal state of mind on social media. They're kind of just scrolling and they're on there for mostly entertainment. And so if you made it really easy, more people are going to do it. And then obviously you need to have some content before you ask, which is why I showed you that video. So I have a bunch more of these examples, guys, but I know we're out of time today. And so we can go deeper on any of these concepts on a future call. But yeah, I think this is a game changer for me. The opportunity is huge. We have people that come to my classes and events. They send me this stuff every time we go through this whole full masterclass, which takes a few hours, and they will implement and tell me how much, they're getting more views, they're getting more people, and then they're also getting more business. It's pretty crazy, like the amount of people who generate business from this strategy.
Incredible. Neil, there was a question in the chat. Somebody asked if you would share your screen again with the QR code for your hooks.
Oh yeah, I can do that for sure.
That's off. Yeah.
So just scan this. It's neilshooks.com or just scan this QR code and we'll send it over to you. And yeah, would love to connect. And then here's what we'll do. Amy's coming to this event. A few other people on this call are coming to our Forward event. But I'm just going to tell you this really quick. I had this thing happen about 5 years ago. I was sitting just stuck in our industry at a cap. And I said to myself, I'm not going to spend another year doing the same shit. I'm going to do something new this year. And so I started posting these videos. And this is like, these memories that pop up on your social. It's like, hey, here's a video from 4 years ago. Check it out. And it's like, it's bad when you can't even watch your own video. You're watching it back. You're like, man, this is cringe. It's tough. But I just kept doing it. And, I would teach digital marketing to real estate agents. And we'd have like 3 people here. This is me in 2019. And they put me in the hallway for my weekly class. And there would be like 6 people there. And I would teach and we would get into it and it would work. But just kept doing more of it and got more effective at communicating this stuff. And then this is me last year at our event in Vegas. We had 1,000 people come from all over the country and other countries as well to learn about how to improve right here. Right. And so, I'm just sharing with you guys that like these opportunities are there for all of us if we just don't quit and just work on getting a little bit better every day. That's all you have to do and you win because everybody else doesn't do those 2 things. And oh yeah, I'll give you guys the QR code for the event. So what we're doing here is for today, we did this crazy thing with our event. It's on our website right now. We have probably 10, 12 speakers. Gary Vee is going to be there. Everything's all about communication and improving your marketing. And so if you go to fwdsale.com, we're doing this for 10 people today in this group. And this is for Rocket Fuel people only who are on this call. We're doing a crazy thing where we have 1,000 people coming. We're down to the last 100 tickets. For 10 people who are on this call who want to do this, you're going to get half off your ticket to the event if you scan this code or use this link, fwdsale.com, or scan this QR code. And you'll be able to join us in Vegas. I'll just share with you really quick as we wrap up today. Here is a 2-minute video on just kind of the feel of what this event is like. The problem you run into when you put everything you have into making this event absolutely epic is that somehow next year you have to find a way to do it even bigger. I think the reason why, honestly, that I put so much time, energy, money into these events is because I've seen it firsthand. The impact it has not only just on your business, but on your life.
Soon enough, you gon' know, yeah, you gon' know, yeah, yeah.
If only I could stop the sunrise, we could lay here all night. If only I could learn to freeze time and hold you forever. If only I had one more day, I love you 25/8. If only I could stop the sunrise, we could lay here all night. If only I could learn to freeze time and hold you forever. If only I had one more day, I love you 25/8. If only I.
And so, yeah, I probably couldn't explain it as good as that goes, but basically we
I've
don't
got
do
chills
things.
just watching it.
Yeah, we don't do things half-assed. This is like this. I'm just telling you right now. I mean, no disrespect to anybody else who does events, but if you come to this event, this will be the best event you've ever been to, honestly, in terms of marketing and just getting better. And everything we're teaching is what I'm talking about on this call, and then improving your messaging. And so this just separates you from the competition. I had somebody talk to me yesterday, and they were like, "Well, Neil, I'll work on that once the market's better." I'm like, "Well, that's like saying you'll go to the gym once you're in shape." You know what I mean? Like, you have to be leveling up in terms of how you're going to communicate with people, how you're going to build your brand, do all these things. And so we handpicked 12 people, experts in marketing. You know, Gary Vee just wrote a book on, it's called Day Trading Attention. It's all about the strategy on how to get more business from your personal brand. He's going to be teaching that. Phil Jones, I'm sure you guys know Phil Jones. He wrote the book Exactly What to Say. He has a new talk that he's doing specifically on communication for realtors. And so all this stuff is going to be really cool. You meet a lot of great people, and would love to have 10 of you there with us. And so if you want to grab one, you can get it at half off. Just, it'll be first come, first serve. And by the way, if you scan it and click on it and it shows the full price, that means 10 of them already are taken. So then even at the regular price, it's awesome. But I just want to hook 10 people up today.
That's so generous of you. You guys come. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. So I'd love to be there with you guys.
Yeah, I
Neil,
think, and then I think there's a lot of real families going to be out there. There's a ton of people from real EXP. It doesn't matter like which brokerage. It's like, it's open to everybody.
oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's going to be a sick event. This has been amazing. So much value. So much value. This is my second time hearing this presentation, and I have 3 pages of notes. So you can just never stop learning, like never stop getting this information. Thank you, Neil, so much.
Yeah, and I apologize for not, having enough time to go through so much, because there's so much stuff to go through. But
so
like I
good.
said, if anybody needs anything in terms of you want to learn more about this stuff, we do longer classes throughout the year. So just DM me, and I'm happy to get you the info on the next time we do one. And then also, for anybody coming to this event, we're doing some stuff before the event. We'll be doing some Zoom calls where we'll provide you with some resources and some stuff on the funnels and things like that we can help you with.
Awesome. We appreciate you so much, Neil. Thank you for your time today. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Have an amazing week. This is a wrap for Rocket Fuel. We'll see you again next Monday, same time. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.